Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pockets Full of Spiders. That's right. And tonight we're going to talk about the most fearsome, the most frightening creature in the natural world, our little eight-legged nemesis, the arachnid. And I'm joined for this special occasion by a very special guest all the way from Australia, land of freaky spiders, Pandamusk.
Hello, everyone. I am the second most dangerous animal.
Are you the second most dangerous animal in the natural world?
Well, at least in Australia. That's not true.
Oh, wow.
I'm gentle. I'm gentle.
You're a gentle mystery. You are Pandamusk, and you are providing the animation that people are seeing in this episode right now.
Animation? What are you talking about? This is real life, isn't it?
Oh, really? I don't know.
You are looking more animated than usual.
Oh, I try to stay animated whenever possible. You're actually fulfilling a lifelong dream here. I've always wanted to be a cartoon. Always. And I've dreamt of that happening, being like a professionally made cartoon. You sent me a picture. I told the story about seeing a spider in Muir Woods once, and you sent me a flash animation of myself being eaten by a spider.
Yeah, it's a little animated GIF. And that's the thing is, I still have those assets, so all of this should be pretty quick to do.
I'm kind of terrified by that. But here we are in our little animated reality with magical animated effects happening. I could not be happier. Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, and tonight's theme, this being one of our something different episodes, we're going to talk about spiders. So you see, spiders, we ask a question on Pockets Full of Soup of every guest. We ask, what is the most terrifying creature in the natural world? And spiders are our number one answer.
Really? For me, it's sharks.
Sharks? Ooh, expound.
They're terrifying. I mean, I would think that the most scary thing for a human being is to be eaten alive. That, to me, is more terrifying. Plus, I've been bitten by a spider before, so it's not that scary.
Oh, what kind of spider bit you?
I don't know. It would have just been a house spider, I think, but I was pretty young then, so...
So never...
I was convinced it was a redback, but I think it was just a house spider in the end. So.
Oh, as a child, you were terrified it was a redback?
Yeah, I actually thought I got bitten. So I basically got bitten, and then when I looked up, there was a spider there, a little black one, but it scurried away pretty quickly. And I was convinced I was going to die that night, actually.
The redback being a highly poisonous Australian spider.
The redback's basically what you guys, I think it's similar to what you guys have as a black widow here. So the female spiders tend to have that red stripe along their body, and they're quite, well, I mean, they are venomous, but they tend to be only really dangerous to small children. So
the redback spider, I believe, the only venomous spider in Japan,
really,
or imported from Australia.
Oh, okay. Well, that's our gift to you. Yeah. Thank you very much. You gave us anime. We gave you deadly spiders.
But going back to sharks for a second, you said sharks the most terrifying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pandas don't do well in water, but I'm an okay swimmer. But the thing is, we see shark attacks, and they're terrible. They're not often. But we do get them. If there's a shark sighting, everyone gets out of the water. There's a few surfers that will play it quite loose, but generally you want to get out. Like the movie Shallows, I recently just watched that.
Yeah.
Terrifying for me. Terrifying. That PlayStation VR, the Deep experience, terrifying.
I am also terrified of sharks, mollified, to the point, Panda, that I won't get in the water.
Yeah.
And I tell people a lot of like esoteric reasons. I'm like, the ocean's bigger than I am.
Yes.
I'm frightened of it.
Yes.
But at my core, I'm terrified of sharks. I think they're beautiful.
They're beautiful
fascinating
animals.
creatures.
Beautiful animals deserve to be alive, blah, blah, blah.
They scare the crap out of me.
Just stay away from me.
Well, I mean, they're so massive, and they're so perfect and ancient and absolutely marvelous. Now, I do throw the thing out here to you. What if spiders existed? Like, what if you had...
spider shark?
Spider shark.
Well, it depends which part. Are we talking like the shark head and then the spider body with the legs?
Yeah, I'm imagining a shark, and then you have 8 legs coming out of the shark, so it's also on the land and very fast. And then the big open mouth, but 8 eyes.
Yeah.
And then the big open mouth.
8 eyes.
And then but all the teeth are like those long spider fang teeth.
Oh, but there's multiple rows of
them. Just rows of them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And does it spin a web?
Yeah.
Or does it trap you in the water? Like,
maybe. I don't know.
Does it emerge from the water and then comes onto land?
Comes up from the water, and then just runs up the beach and grabs you and sucks you in. Oh man, this is
this is
an animated image.
Yeah, I think this is going to happen.
Oh my!
Okay, prepare for a cutaway.
The most horrifying death I can fathom. But yeah, as scared as I am of sharks, I'm scared of spiders. Probably just as much, which is irrational.
Yeah. That's because when you're asleep, they'll go into your ears and mouth and lay eggs.
Oh, is that what happens?
Baby spiders will come out of your eyes.
I've seen an image of... No, I'm imagining I think it was Robert Rourke who said that rhinoceri
No, rhinoceros.
look at you like you owe them money.
Oh.
I think it was Robert Rourke who said that. Spiders look at you like they'd eat you if they were big enough. They just look at you like...
that's kind of a good point. They probably would, hey?
They kind of give you a look just like, if I were just a little taller,
Yeah.
you might be worth a snack.
Yeah, I think so. Or you were a little smaller.
or if you were tinier. Oh, man, we would not last long in a tiny world.
No, I mean, the problem is they all run really fast, I would think. And then there's no real way to escape from it because they can climb walls and stuff. And some of them fly, some can jump.
Yep.
Yeah, we're screwed.
They got venom. They got the webs.
Yeah.
They've got the jumping ability.
Yeah.
They're just.
So, do you guys actually have many spiders in America aside from like the Black Widow? That's.
Are you talking about venomous
terrifying?
spiders?
Or just scary.
Yeah,
spiders.
we have all kinds of scary spiders here. We have several different varieties of. We have the Black Widow spider, which is actually a fairly non-aggressive spider, much like a redback. You were describing redbacks as not too.
If you go to any backyard in Australia, you'll find redbacks, particularly in summer. And if you go into a shed, they're just in every corner and hidden away in like amongst all the corrugated fences and stuff.
That's very similar. Black widows really enjoy being under things.
Yeah, and as long as you don't touch them, they won't actually come and attack you. There's a few spiders that do that, but
that's all. Yeah, we'll get to those guys. I know in Australia. Okay. So we have
generally you just leave them alone, and they won't. But it's really little kids that go, "Ooh, little red thing. What's ow?"
Yeah, exactly. Or somebody that inadvertently sticks their hand under something to pick it up. I had a lady. I was at a pumpkin patch for Halloween here. Like it was one of those places where they sell pumpkins.
Right.
And do you guys do that in Australia?
Well, no, we don't really do Halloween. So, I mean, it's beginning to permeate through, but there's not really trick or treating like we have here, and people don't really dress up unless it's a
so here, party, so here in the United States, when it's Halloween time, people set up these pumpkin patches. Like they bring in pumpkins from the countryside and they sell them. Like you can go to a pumpkin patch and cut your own pumpkin.
Yeah, right.
But they also have these pumpkin and the lady was telling me like, yeah, every day I've got to come back here and spray because the spiders or the Black Widows really love those woods back there and they keep getting under the pumpkins. Here, I'll show you a video. And I was just imagining a small child like reaching under one of those pumpkins to pick it up because they love to be under things. I've heard the best place to catch them is interstate guardrails, like along the sides of highways that they love to get under.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, actually. That's similar to it. So in Australia, we have these corrugated fences with a topper, and that's exactly like those handrails.
They get under there. So, but as long as you don't stick your hand down there, not too aggressive. I did have one drop out of a lamp onto my hand once. Yeah. That was terrifying, like out of a lampshade as I was turning the light on. But even then, it didn't bite me.
I used to live in this house, the shed house, which was a couple stories tall, and one of the guys that I used to live with, he used to leave all the back, like the doors open. So I used to have a lot of spiders. This is my spider house. Actually, in fact, if you go through my Twitter feed from a couple of years ago, you'll see endless spider tweets. Oh. That's because of this house. So in this house, I would encounter a spider every day, and it'd be some horrible event.
Why did you stay there?
It was convenient at the time, and I was looking for a new place. So
is it like the plot of a horror movie where you've bought the place and now you can't move away after you find it's haunted? Like you're just like, crap, I'm stuck here?
No. Fortunately, I got out of it and stuff, so I moved on. But like the worst day was actually there's a few events, but speaking of the fences, we had a rent inspection, so you have to clean the apartment, the backyard and whatnot. And the backyard was basically all concrete flooring, but there was a corrugated fence all around it. And I had to clean it, and the best way to do it is just to use a high-pressure water hose to get underneath all the railings and stuff. So I did that. The problem being there's a lot of spider webs everywhere. So I knew there was going to be a couple spiders coming in, but I'm talking about something like, like a 5 meter by 5 meter fencing area with all of the surfaces covered in cobwebs and webs. So I kind of, the thing is, like, I knew there was going to be spiders. So I put on some, you guys know the Sorrel brand? It's like a Canadian brand. Sorrel. Yeah, they do like winter boots and stuff. So I put on one of those.
Yeah.
Sprayed every surface I could see with insect spray, and then started going around with a hose, and literally probably about 40 different spiders came out. Oh. And you could see them, like the water was coming down, and suddenly you go, oh, that's a funny looking leaf or a pile of, cobwebs, and suddenly this thing would unfurl and start scurrying along the surface of the water. And there was a point where I looked down and there was like spiders on my feet, like climbing up the boots. And I was shaking it off, and that's pretty much when I was like, I need to get out of here. Okay, this is good enough.
No,
if we lose points on this, it's fine.
That's some Lenigan versus the Ant stuff right there. You ever read Lenigan versus the Ants?
No.
Oh, that's a short story about a guy that fights a bunch of army ants.
Right, yeah.
But,
there was spiders crawling on my feet, and that terrified me. So.
The ickiest thing that maybe has ever happened to me in terms terms of like seeing an awful, gross thing was I was in Japan. And a cockroach was scurrying along. Now, cockroaches are awful creatures anyway.
Yeah, they're horrible.
But a cockroach is scurrying along, and I see it. I'm like, oh, and I step on it.
Oh, you should never step on a cockroach.
Its body
Explodes,
but the cockroach's it explodes, and then out of it burst what seemed like hundreds of tiny white baby cockroaches.
Yeah, this is why you should never step on cockroaches.
Bursting out of its corpse and rushing in every direction out of this thing.
Yeah,
it's one of the most
terrible.
awful. Yeah,
you should never step on cockroaches because of that reason. And even if they're not already little baby larvae, I mean, basically they'll survive the step, and as you walk around, they'll get spread the eggs. So
I did not.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You should never step on a giant roach.
Okay, well, so I learned. Okay, that's too horrible.
I had a similar event, but
tell me.
There was a spider on the same house, spider house. We're going to call it spider house from now.
House.
And it was up in the roof, or rather on ceiling, just in the corner. And again, it was another thing where I was trying to clear it, and I could see there was a little black shadow amongst some webbing, but it's such a high ceiling I couldn't reach it without a broom or anything, so I ended up emptying half a can of insect spray on it, and then I saw the spider kind of freaking out, coming out of its little web, just kind of twisting and cavorting, and eventually it just stopped still, and I was like, oh, is it dying? What should I do? Should I get something to smash it? And then this thing exploded, and then hundreds of baby spiders came out.
The spider blew up?
I don't know what it must have been, the sack that was carrying that I thought was a body, but it's just a sack.
This the Australian grenade
and then there's
spider?
all these, it's like the grenade spider. And then all these little baby spiders just started spreading all through the ceiling, and I couldn't get all of them. I couldn't get all of them.
Grenade spider!
Because it was just on such a high ceiling, and I was like,
no,
it was the worst. It was the worst.
I'm never coming to your country.
So I basically, we have this surface spray where any insect that crawls on it will die if it crosses the threshold.
Yeah,
it's like the salt around the holy area.
Okay, yeah, the vampire can't stop.
Yeah, exactly. So I was spraying that every surface, like all around the door, just going, if these baby spiders come to my room, they're coming back.
You just create an energy shield around yourself.
Yeah, basically. And then, I couldn't sleep very well.
A spider house. I'm going to go back to a question you asked much earlier, just to give you the last fill-in, and then we're going to go to spider house. In addition to the black widow in the United States, we have the brown recluse.
Yes.
Do you know?
Oh, yeah, we have recluse spiders.
Okay, the fiddleback. It uses a necrotic toxin that rots your body.
Yeah, that was we had that going through a few years. Like it comes and goes. People say they have these giant ulcers and stuff developing.
Yeah.
I thought that was proven to not be true.
In terms of the brown recluse, it's a necrotic bite. That's what it actually does. It's a necrotoxin that kind of rots you, but people overascribe them sometimes.
That's right. Yeah,
but it's
I think
quite lethal. I mean, that's
we have a white-tailed spider that's similarly does this kind of flesh-eating disease thing where the leg will fall off.
There are treatments for it, but I have a friend actually that was bitten
everyone
in
it touches.
When I was a teenager, she was bitten in the rear end while she was using the bathroom by a brown recluse.
Yeah.
And her butt got that on it, and she had to lay on her stomach for over a week while it healed up, I remember. And then we also have the red widow, which is a very rare spider.
That sounds romantic.
Very rare spider. It's only in Florida, and it lives under palm fronds on the floor of.
Oh, does it form a little trap or like a little tunnel?
We know very little about the red widow because it was discovered only recently, confirmed to exist, and that's my understanding from limited reading. And it eats, I believe it's palmetto bugs that it goes after, but it makes little webs like little, it's not an in the ground like whole spider, but it lives under the fronds and webs down there. Yeah. Again, I'm not an expert.
Do you have anything like a trapdoor spider like we have in Australia?
We have trapdoor spiders in the American Southwest, I believe, but they're not poisonous. They're not venomous.
Right,
So let's stop with the American spiders and we have tarantulas, of course, and things like that. We got that.
So
but let's get to Spider House, and let's get to Australia because I think Australia is the Cadillac of spider countries. At least, again, Americans believe what we see on TV, which is to our detriment. We believe. I've learned a few things from American television that are probably not true. One is that you should never get in a boat with an Australian. Because the Australian will leap into the water with a shark. That's an American television thing. The second is apparently there's something called irrakanji. That exists.
Oh yes, Irrakanji syndrome.
Again, that's played up as a world.
No, that's a real thing.
Oh, really?
My friend was in hospital for it.
Oh, no kidding. Now I feel bad.
It's not actually one jellyfish. I think my understanding is that it's lots of little jellyfishes of different species, but they're like the ones which have micro-sized, really small, like less than a centimeter sized bells.
Okay.
Imagine like a little bit bigger than a match head or something like that.
Wow.
So, and I believe you can't feel their sting, I believe.
Okay.
We're told don't get into the water unless you're wearing a full protective suit. In some parts of northern Australia, particularly around Queensland, going across to Northern Territory. And I've had this warning as well up near Broome in Western Australia.
Sharks, irukandji, and then, of course,
yeah.
spiders.
Spiders, yeah. But I believe it's lots of little jellyfish that can cause it. So,
Okay.
so I think it's October, so like now till...
Yeah.
I think March is the season, but it varies depending on the tides. Depends on the season.
So don't get in the water without a full wetsuit and protection.
Yeah, generally then. Or some
coast.
people just. I mean, we have other things like box jellyfish, and
Yeah.
we have the man o' wars as well. So they're as likely to probably quickly kill you as well. So because they've got those neurotoxins.
So maybe
actually, a lot
just-
of our animals have like neurotoxins that paralyze you.
What's with that?
I mean, it's Australia. I mean, these animals have had to learn to over years of evolution and development to kill things quickly, and sometimes they're a smaller animal and they have to kill bigger things, so they do that by paralyzing them and then slowly eating them.
So
as
is the
they
popular
ingest them.
legend of Australians' natural lethality really true then? I mean, is
Yeah,
that
generally most of our animals will try to kill you in some way or give you, or even I was telling Greg Milley the other day. I mean, even like our koalas are like 85% of them is the number I get thrown around, have like chlamydia. So most of the koalas in the wild will have some form of koala
STD? Yeah, in the States,
STD,
STD.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No kidding.
But all of the ones that are reared in zoos and whatever else, they're all chlamydia free, I believe.
Okay, but so are the chlamydia koalas coming for us, or
well, only if you you let them like pee on you or whatever it is how they spread it. So
that's amazing. That's fascinating.
don't think anyone's had koala intercourse yet.
Well,
I think that would be
I don't want to fathom that.
no. I wouldn't want to
don't want to think about it.
Don't think about that. Kids don't think about that.
So Spider House. Sorry,
we keep going.
No, that's all right. Let's go.
We're like deviating to all these
I like
terrible
it.
Australian
I
animals.
love tangents. Tangents are great. I'm a huge fan of them. But let's jump into these spiders some more. So you lived in what's the deal with Spider House?
No, it was just that there was spiders every day. Every day, like I'd be taking a shower, and then I would look up, and there's literally a spider coming down onto my face as I'm showering. And then because it hits the water, it like disappears, and I don't know where it is on my body. And then I'm just screaming and just like.
And you're a panda. You're covered in fur, so it could be anywhere.
It could be
there.
anywhere.
Oh.
So yeah, so that's like those kind of moments terrify me. And then I realized when I looked up, there was a little sunlight above the shower, and all the recesses had spiders. So and I was like, oh my god. So I basically again fired up another insect bomb up there, and all of these spiders started coming down like a rain of dead, dying spiders.
Is this typical?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's been yes,
Really?
yes, it is. It's highly typical. I mean, it depends on the time of the year. I mean, this was around summer, so
Is Australia just heavy in insects? I mean, are the spiders just feeding off a huge insect population? Are they feeding off each other?
Yeah, I think so. And then the other thing, I mean, yes, I think so. A lot of the, like I said, a lot of the spiders generally, like the ones that I'm terrified of are the like huntsmans, and you often see them, but when you do see them, you'll notice them because they're these big hairy spiders that move really fast.
Well, let's talk about big and hairy. Like, what are we talking?
So the biggest one I've seen is close to the size of open hand kind of thing,
Like a
small
human
open
hand?
Yeah. Usually they're about the size of palm, so it comes like that.
Are they thick?
Yeah, they've got thick legs. They're not hairy as hairy as say tarantula, but they've got kind of like brushy ended legs.
Okay.
And they tend to have a more slender body,
Okay.
but it's covered in a very fine fuzz like felt.
That sounds.
And they're brown. And usually they're good because they'll go out and kill all the evil bugs and stuff. But they're terrifying, and they move terrifyingly fast.
When you just like faster than a person can run fast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of scale it'd be.
Yeah.
I'd have to read up to see.
But I mean,
what
like, if
speed.
you started running from one, do you think it could run you down?
Oh yes.
Oh, that's
Not,
terrifying.
but generally they'll like have a look on YouTube, and you'll see all these videos of these spiders like staying stationary and someone trying to capture it like underneath a jug or a bowl, and these things jump and then sprint off either towards the guy or away from it. But either way, people start screaming and it's terrifying.
So they're called Huntsman spiders.
Yeah, so the Huntsman spider. Yeah, because they're really fast. Like they'll have these really quick, short bursts of ultimate speed.
Okay.
To capture whatever it is they're after, may it be another insect or a small mammal.
So Alana Pierce from IGN's talked to me a little bit about Huntsman spiders in the past too. Are they poisonous? I can't remember.
They can bite you, and I think it hurts.
Okay. But
they
not
won't kill you. They won't kill you. I don't think anyone's died from them. I haven't read up about that.
All right.
Generally, they tend to not docile, but they'll generally tend to leave you alone.
Okay.
You know, and I know people have picked them up before and they haven't been bitten, but you know, if you aggravate them, they will bite you.
So they're just horrifying in an elemental way.
Yeah. So the thing that freaks me out about spiders is not so much the bite. I mean, that's terrifying, but it's the way they move and how the legs do that kind of coordinated shuffling.
Oh,
You can hear that. That's terrifying. I just don't like that. That's what I don't like the most.
No, I think that's
that scene from Gremlins. Didn't like that.
Common theme. Oh, you know what Gremlins 2?
Yeah, Gremlins 2. Sorry,
I
Gremlins
don't know.
2, yeah.
No, I don't like it. No, I don't like how they walk. I don't like how they leap. When they jump.
So these guys jump. Yeah, these guys jump. My mate fell out of a tree because one jumped while he was pruning it. So jumped onto his face.
Onto his face.
Well, you know.
See that? Okay, so there's a part of me again, like sharks. You know, obviously, sharks are terrifying creatures, but they need to be protected. They're an extraordinarily important part of the ecosystem.
Some
they're beautiful.
Dicks,
they're ancient. What's that?
Some are dicks. Though.
But yeah, if they're going to act like that, I mean, then I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to be clear. I don't want. I don't want anybody hurting the animals. Exactly. But what I say, if a spider jumps on your face, man, he is asking for what he gets.
Yeah, that's true. But the other thing is, I mean, they just jump because they freak out that some branch that they were living on gets moved. So.
That's true. It's kind of us still.
But if they then
probably sound like an ignoramus.
Then I mean, I don't know. I feel bad because I have we have done bad stuff to spiders and vice versa because of the fear. I try to leave them alone. If I see one in the house, I will freak out, but I'll do my best to get it out of the house and safely in one piece.
Again, it's
usually onto the neighbors.
No creature looks like that at you that intends good. Okay, so we've got Huntsman spiders, we've got redbacks. What else? Yes. What other spiders can we find?
Well, I mean, the worst one, the one that people know about is the funnel web.
The funnel web spider.
Yeah, right. So that's the one on the East Coast, like the one in Sydney. So they're not very big. They're about yay big. I'm drawing I don't know what coin. You don't have
size
a coin.
Of a quarter, maybe a 50-cent piece.
No, way bigger than that.
Oh, that's probably that's about a 50-cent piece, maybe a silver dollar.
Okay.
Let's say about
I've never seen a
slice of pepperoni.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
It's like a slice of pepperoni. So just imagine your next pizza filled with funnel web spiders.
Spiders full of pizza. Pockets full. Yeah, that's it. We're going to screw up your soup.
Pizza full of spiders.
Yeah, pizza full of spiders.
So I have seen one. They're not that big. But they've got that kind of shiny leg carapace kind of appearance. And the thing that we're told is they'll often fall into the water of a pool. So we have lots of pools in Australia, and then they'll get caught up in the filter,
like a swimming pool.
Yeah, like a swimming pool. Yeah. So you often so lots of stuff gets caught up in the filters because it's all the insects go there for the water and whatever. The thing is, if you see one floating dead, caught up in a ball, it's probably not dead, even if it's in the water. So they can like survive for a long time. They just hold themselves in a little ball. So you try to pick one up, they will bite you. So if you try to fish it out and you're not wearing gloves,
so people get bit at pools.
Yeah, so that's often how people get bit.
Okay.
And I do believe they do kill people. I don't know how many a year.
Yeah, what I've read is that funnel web venom is extremely toxic.
Yeah.
And dangerous.
Yeah. Fortunately, they're not on my side of the country, but I have seen them when I visited Sydney. I got pointed out that it was.
I've heard a legend that they can bite through a toenail.
Oh, I've never heard that. I thought they had small jaws. I
don't know. Again, what I've heard and what is true could be vastly different.
Then yes, they can bite through toes.
Can you imagine the sound of a spider biting through your toenail, just like that? When I was in college, I was dancing with a girl, and she ripped my toenail off.
Oh God! I thought you meant she bit you in the toe.
No, she ripped my toenail off. That was a terrifying.
Have you still got your toenail? Or was it gone?
I got it back. It came back. Okay. Yeah, I grew it back. But I mean, she ripped it just down to the.
Was that the end of it?
Huh?
Was that the end of that relationship?
It ended very soon after.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a deal breaker or
the
a toe breaker.
The two things were connected.
Oh, I see.
No. The loss of the toenail. It was.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's. Okay, so with the funnel web spider, I've also heard is aggressive. Do you believe that's
true? That's true. There's a couple spiders that are like that. So that one, I don't know if it's the mouse spider's the other one that's aggressive that chases.
Tell me about the mouse spider. Is it named because it eats mice?
Yes.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I actually don't know. I don't know
Oh, no,
why it's
bird
I just know
spiders
because the other one that looks like a funnel web. So that's a thing. So, when you see one that looks like it, but they can have more colors in them. Like they can often have red bits on the.
And again, the shiny carpus, right?
Yeah. And they're again about yay big. So.
Okay.
And I thought they discovered some weird spider recently that's related to them.
Oh, well, there's a very loud noise.
I don't know what that is.
happening. Sounds like a smoke alarm. Okay,
That looks like a smoke alarm.
I think that may be the smoke alarm.
All right, we're just going to pause for a second.
Pause this right now. Can you believe that spider attacked the hotel?
It was basically Cloverfield, but with spiders.
It was, which is a terrifying thing. It dropped out of the sky, and there was one massive spider, and then thousands and thousands of tiny spiders that were all themselves the size of St. Bernards dropped off its body.
And then they came and attacked Jared, and then they laid eggs in his mouth, and now baby spiders are coming out of his eyes.
Yeah. As we speak, I have tiny spiders pouring out of my nostrils and feasting on my eyes.
The microphone he's holding is actually made out of spiders.
But yeah, we had the fire alarm went off, and the building was being attacked by a giant 8-legged monster.
I'd like to interject and say, firstly, that does not sound like the usual fire alarms we have in Australia. So I just did not pick up that was a fire alarm. To me, it just sounded like a computer was buzzing wrong.
Okay, just kind of like, yeah. Well, we have different. You'll get different ones here, definitely. But we're generally speaking, our home fire alarms have kind of like a horrible angry alarm clock.
Exactly.
And this is kind of a louder version of that.
Yeah, ours goes higher and it's quite a loud, higher decibel kind of thing, and it's just ear piercing.
Yeah,
and then there's usually an overhead telling us, there's a fire, get out of that place.
The one in the IGN building is more like that. Right. We have fire drills, and it is skull splitting. Like
I would have totally slept through that, not realizing what that was. So.
It's like, we're all in danger.
Is that a very relaxing alarm there?
Fortunately, there was no fire. Merely
a false alarm.
Eventually, some Chinook helicopters brought in a giant can of Raid. Yes. And the spider was driven back into the sea.
Because it was a shark spider.
Yeah, shark spider. Yeah, you might. So the fear of the spiders. I mean, I want to approach this rationally, but I think, arachnophobic. And
I can understand that.
Frightened of spiders, despite their tininess, despite their usefulness to the world, despite the mosquitoes that they eat and all the wonderful things they do. They're just very frightening creatures, but also very beautiful.
Do you guys have daddy longlegs here?
We do have daddy longlegs. I like daddy longlegs.
I was terrified of those as kids.
Really?
Well, I mean, because of that, because I didn't understand what they were. So that's they're the most friendly spider, if you can categorize spiders.
Yeah, they help you with your house a lot. They keep pests out. They're not going to bite you. They can bite you.
They can bite you.
But there's a myth that they can bite you, but that they can't. But they actually can, but they don't. They don't like to. I watched the Mythbusters, and they did a thing where they were trying to prove whether or not they can bite you.
Right.
There is that myth that they can't bite. And so literally they filled a tube with daddy long legs.
I don't want to know about that. I don't want to know about
that. Yeah, and even then it took forever to get one to bite him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did not want to bite him.
I mean, I don't know how big, because sometimes their spider fangs are really small, so that I don't think they can pierce human skin, as far as I understand.
Some spider fangs, they can get in there. Apparently, daddy longlegs can.
Wow.
And then there's ones, again, there's these spiders in South America that are kind of called as a group bird spiders. Southern parts of this continent. And those have giants. Immense fangs and really have been known, apparently, to eat small birds, mammals, things like that.
Yeah, I've seen a little. I think it might have been a snake. It could have been a lizard. It might have been a lizard stuck in a spider web.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a little eye-opening.
Yeah, you'd see these terrifying ones, or the fact that only what they can get. They get find life where they can get it. Banana spiders down in Florida.
Oh my!
I don't like those. Yeah.
That video that was going around of the banana, and then it's like starts to throb and pulsate on the skin, and then this fucking spider.
Yeah,
comes out of
I
it.
saw that. It's like
I stopped eating bananas as a result of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just I still eat bananas now, but that was and when I first watched it, I just stopped. I love bananas, but I stopped eating bananas for several months. And it got to the point where I was like, well, I like to have them in shakes and stuff. So what I would do is I would open it up very quickly and then cut it and not eat it like a normal person would. And then freeze the segments of banana for later use, thus killing and freezing any animal that might have been in there.
Although from what you tell me about a funnel web, it may not be enough to kill it.
That's true. But those are the funnel webs. I mean, we've had spiders. You'll see it on like Reddit and whatever else. like some spider stuck inside a salad bag or whatever. So you do have those kind of scary, because that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like if you're eating and a spider comes out. So
from what I've read, there are spiders that can live a very long time, perhaps a matter even of years, without eating, like between meals.
What?
Yeah, like some spiders can endure a very long time without
they can
eating.
outlast you.
Yeah, so they
Leaving
can just
a
kinda,
room.
Yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, that spider is going to wait me out. There are spiders. I remember I didn't talk about the brown widow, which is another. Another spider that's one of those kind of larger bodied spiders.
Yeah.
But you'll see some of those occasionally making really kind of ornate and interesting webs. But I remember watching one of them catch a moth once, a large moth. And as the moth landed, I could hear the sound of the moth's wings ripping.
Yeah.
As the spider leapt on and ripped the moth's wings off.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, it was one of those savage and frightening things I've ever seen.
Okay, so I'm going to tell this story. I'm not proud of it, but we were kids. Don't judge me. I was going outside to do just to put up some laundry. I can't remember what it was, and I opened a sliding door, this glass door, and stepped down onto the step, and there was what I suspect is a huntsman, which is weird because I don't remember them ever having a proper web, but it was hanging off a web, and it was pretty big, like the size of my palm. So I would assume it was a huntsman because they're usually the ones that get that big. So I got a can of Raid, which is, do you guys have Raid here?
Yeah, we have Raid.
Mortine. Anyway,
We have Raid.
Sorry, it would be Mortine in Australia. So yeah, we do have Raid here. And sprayed like pretty much what was left of this half emptied insect repellent on it. Didn't die. I sprayed it. It was coated. It was glossy,
And it
looking
did
and
not
moist.
die.
It just kind of stayed there and hung around. I was like, what the fuck is this spider? And came back to it half an hour later. Totally still there again. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? And then my brother came home and I told him all about it. And he's a bit more fearless than I was. And he knocked it onto the ground. And it kind of crawled on the ground, kind of startled.
Yeah.
So it was still alive. And then we may or may not have gotten a bottle of methylated spirits and poured it on it, or he did, and then created a small trail. It was basically like that scene in Die Hard 2 with the plane, exactly like that scene.
Okay.
Except instead of the plane, it's a spider.
Oh.
And instead of McLean,
That's
it's
gruesome.
us. But anyway, this trail hits it, and as soon as it hits the spider, I swear I could hear this screaming noise.
Oh.
This high-pitched...
Oh.
And then as it ran off scurrying on flames before it like cracked and then kind of slowly disintegrated into... So this is horrible. I would never do this ever again. Like, full disclosure, worst thing you could do as a kid is attack another animal without ruin and
That is the
stake.
most horrific story that's just...
So
now
I told you I was the second most dangerous animal in Australia. However, that being said, it did teach me to preserve future spider life.
Well,
I
hearing that
felt
scream, yeah.
so bad.
Oh yeah,
immediately
animals
after.
feel pain. Yeah, for all this blustering about spiders,
Immediately
I really do try to avoid harming them.
Yeah.
And maybe we have been spider fearmongers here, but
Maybe.
but
I mean, I don't know about the spider. This guy could have been like some spider criminal who's gone and created spider genocide elsewhere.
yeah,
we don't know.
Spiders are frightening. They're frightening, I think, for evolutionary reasons.
Yeah.
They're frightening because their shape is
Yeah.
kind of designed to frighten.
Yes.
It's a warning in our minds. And there are
Yes.
spiders that, if we stick our hands under the wrong thing, they are going to bite us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that might be a good cautionary tale to go out
Yeah.
on. Always
Please
good to
don't kill
preserve
spiders,
life.
guys.
Yeah, don't
Try to save them.
don't
and
kill
push them
stuff.
outside.
I'm trying to feel bad about the roach, but I don't.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, they're pretty hard. I mean, you probably released more roaches who are now more alive rather than anyway.
Yeah, that's a
Because a lizard could have eaten all of them.
But
in one hit.
wow, spider screaming. Nope, can't.
Yeah,
can't.
exactly. So that noise, I can still hear that. I can still hear that to this day.
I'm alone in a room with you now, and I'm frightened. I'm like, I hear the noise now.
So this is why I have such a mixed feel. Like, I'm terrified of spiders. If one will try to attack me, I will kill it to death.
Yeah.
And then I do joke about burning it to death, with killing it with fire. But I have literally done that.
And I have to say, I didn't feel great afterwards, and I still don't feel great about it now.
Thank you for your candor and for the lesson there. We do things we wish we hadn't done when we were younger.
Yeah, I mean that's what shapes you. That's what shapes you. It's what shapes you.
Our mistakes make us who we are.
Exactly. As long as you accept you've made those mistakes.
Yeah, it's how we learn, and it's a big deal. I think that actually now I'm going to go off into preachy territory for a second. I do think in a culture where sometimes it's very easy to shame people or call out the mistakes people make when they make them because everything's so immediate and so public. Yes, I understand that somebody is responsible for what they say, but a life without the opportunity to change ain't much of a life.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't be afraid to learn from stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't burn spiders. That's the lesson.
Please don't burn spiders. Yeah. And be good to everyone, please.
Panda, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being willing to animate it. We always ask a couple of questions at the end.
Yeah.
And
okay, sure.
We're going to do kind of an abbreviated version of that tonight.
You're allowed one quick... No.
It's all right. But just a couple of quick ones. What is best sandwich?
Oh, okay. So there's a place called Paseo's in Seattle that makes this barbecue pork sandwich, and it is the best sandwich I've eaten in my life. I have flown to Seattle specifically for this sandwich. And I'm not joking. I've tweeted about it.
That's incredible.
Like, it's a very simple sandwich. It's in some sort of Hawaiian roll or lobster roll or whatever the hell it's called, and it's got this white kind of aioli sauce. It's got this barbecue, very simple single cos lettuce. These kind of amazing, delicious onions, which are caramelized to perfection, and it's got some picante sauce amongst all that. So it's got the perfect balance of, heat and creaminess and sourness and, the char and the roast. Anyway, you bite into it and it's heaven. And I've only eaten there twice, and both times have been magical. And the first time, me and a group of friends were eating there. We'd ordered. I usually take photos of my food, and the first time I opened up a sandwich, the smell hit me, and then 10 minutes later, I come to, and I've got just the juices of the sauces dripping down my face and my pores, and it's an empty, ripped open sandwich wrapper, and I'm looking up at this guy who's looking down at me like with his face going, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I must be a mess," and he's like, "No. I just want to be you right now." And so I was like, honestly, that was like, and I was like, oh, yeah, fair enough.
You had an out-of-body sandwich
experience. It was amazing. And I came back and it was exactly the same.
What's this place called?
Paseo's.
Well, what an amazing sandwich. That's exciting.
So yes, that's the sandwich. That's the sandwich that I've had. I've had many other sandwiches all over the world, but yeah, that's the sandwich that still sticks with me. It's still right here.
All right.
Right there.
Right there in the heart.
Right
Second question, what's the best song written in the last 100 years? Yep. What's it going to be?
Oh, that's tough. I can't answer that because the thing is, music is art.
Yeah.
And what one song means to one person is different to another person.
Well, then self-contextualized, which one speaks the most to you?
To me?
Yeah. The world's ending right now, and you got to go out on one track.
It would be Samurai by Jazztronic, which is a Japanese guy, Ryota Nozaki. He is amazing.
Okay.
So yeah, listen to Samurai, and that was that song, like that's on my always playlist.
Cool.
And then LK by DJ Maki. Also very good. So you understand. I will do like some sort of mega mix to keep the song going before I die.
And we always end on this question. What's one question you have for me?
Oh, where do you want to see Pockets Full of Soup go?
Oh, okay. So I got asked this in a private discussion recently. I mean, obviously, I like any good red-blooded American. I want to rule the world.
Yes.
But no. I'd like to see it move from talking about helping people to helping people. I'd like to see the opportunity to expand beyond talking about what we're thankful for to creating things people are thankful for. I'd like to meet more people. I'd like to. I think it would be good to find both new guests and new audiences, but to move. I love talking. I love listening. I love the art of conversation. I'd like to see us build around that. I'd also like to see us maybe build beyond that. Yeah. And that's where I'd start. I really, really feel that I'm one of a few extraordinarily fortunate people that gets to spend time, thanks to the Patreon supporters, actually making money doing something I really care about. There are a lot of things I care about. Some of them are thanks, but some of them are stories about the thing about life is if you're going to accept the positive, you've also got to contextualize the negative.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about have a place where people can feel safe expressing the worst parts of their lives as well,
Yeah.
and talking about learning and growing and burning spiders, but be able to talk about important themes like forgiveness,
Yeah.
grace, change, transformation, and maybe find ways occasionally to help things like that happen.
I mean, I think that's fantastic. It's nice to be able to, have an avenue to express that. And the thing is, it's often it's these kind, podcasts nowadays, even social media is very much a me event. So it's nice that there's this which talks about how you're thankful for other people.
And I think others is a theme I want to stick with. I mean, I understand. I'm as narcissistic as anyone. I like talking about myself. I really do. But I think that there's putting an emphasis on other people is a very powerful thing, and it could be it's good for people. It's refreshing. It's helped me in my life. I've appreciated what others have done for me. I realize it's a very imperfect, tiny, weird little show, but it's the beginning of something. I hope. I mean, if I'm pulling out specifics, I want to provide low-cost housing for the elderly in a country that's going to have a poverty crisis among its old soon. It really already kind of does.
Yeah.
I want to find ways to concretely help people in their lives. I want on and on. That's a long, I think it's going to start by expanding the kind of shows that we do. We've already done a pilot for something called A Pretty Good Day. We're going to move on and do more communicative stuff.
Excellent.
But as time passes, maybe we can move from communicating ideas to acting them out.
Yeah, I think that's how you start. It's you start with a conversation, really.
Yeah, we'll see what goes from there.
Yeah.
Thanks. Nice question, Panda. Thank you. And thank you for coming. Anything you want to plug? Pandamusk, the extraordinary artist, animator.
I'm terrible at plugging myself. So
Okay.
Come visit me on Twitter at Pandamusk.
At Pandamusk,
If
indeed.
you play video games, or specifically Destiny, I'm Pandamusk.
Oh, Pandamusk.
With a OO, because it's my Canadian account.
Yeah,
it's a moose pun.
For those of you guys that are listening from the Kind of Funny community, you know Panda very, very well.
Yeah.
But it just, or from the IGN community likewise. Thank you, man. Thanks a
My
lot.
pleasure, man. It's nice to be able to, I've interacted with a lot of people through IGN and kind of since they've moved on and whatnot, and it's nice to be able to give back as you do. So, and to help out and get involved. So,
well, thank you. This means a lot to me. You're fulfilling a dream. So, folks, thank you for listening to Pockets Full of Soup. And until next time, please don't step on any spiders.
oh, there's a spider there.
Yeah.
I'd like to take this moment to thank our Patreon producers, Nick Rie and Robert Nieder, whose generous support makes this show possible every week, and also to everyone, every last one of you who gives on Patreon and helps keep us on the air. Also to the members of our Pockets Full of Soup Facebook group. And if you're not a member of that, please join. It's free and it's fun. There's a lot of nice people there, Pockets Full of Soup Facebook group. And to everybody who subscribes on YouTube, who listens on iTunes and Android and all the other places. And guys, once again, thanks for letting me live the dream. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks most of all to Pandamusk, who, out of the kindness of his heart, created something that's made me feel truly happy. Thanks, Panda.